Kirsty. I own a business here at Springfield Farm in Harrogate. We produce our own food. This is my development kitchen where Tony's going to be cooking with us today. I'm incredibly passionate about food, nutrition, ingredients, sustainability and just generally healthy eating. So yeah, this is where we are.
So one of the things that you've mentioned previous is the fact that you try to produce all your food, well you do produce all your food that is allergen free. So that's quite interesting for me from a school perspective, because we've got various diets in school and we have to be so careful about what we're feeding and also those allergens. And it's more important, especially in the forthcoming year with Natasha's law, and caterers need to be aware of what they can and can't do where food is concerned.
Absolutely, it's the heartland of our business. A lot of people know our brand for being vegan, but that's purely by default because we don't use any dairy. We've been a free-from business for 11 years. My son has several food allergies, which is the whole reason and ethos behind the company. So yeah, it's very important to us. We don't have any allergens on site or even in the development kitchen. And yeah, I think we just need to be more careful than ever, especially given Natasha's law and, you know, companies, brands, retailers, they're all becoming a lot more aware. And yeah, it's great.
As you mentioned, manufacturers have got a big role to play in this, and it's nice to know that people like yourselves with your own factory that's allergen free are producing food out there that would help caterers like myself in the school environment. And one of the recipes that we're doing today, a colleague of mine and friend in Sweden, Lyndon McLeod, we teamed together to produce recipes that were vegetarian, vegan-based, allergen-free, that could be used in school recipes. And it was great to know that with linking up with other chefs, other caterers within school, you had that sharing connection, and to work with a developer such as yourself and a manufacturer, knowing that you are thinking about what's going in food makes a big difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like one of the things that we're going to do today is a basic recipe that Lyndon and myself put together. And as you said, it's fresh ingredients. There is no allergens in it.
No.
And there's plenty of veg.
Plenty of veg, loads of colour, lots of vitamins, which is what we all need at this moment in time.
One of the things is using the raw veg, knowing that all the nutrients are still present.
And this is locally sourced as well, so there's no air miles or...
Well, yet again, I find that working with local suppliers, producers, farmers are fantastic, mainly because there's that no air miles, low carbons, and helping the environment.
It's amazing what you can make when you think outside the box a little bit, isn't it?
And this is the thing that I find really important. It's great to be able to share with other colleagues, caterers. We've got our base there.
So that's potato, leek,
the vegan cheese.
Vegan cheese, broccoli,
salt and pepper.
Amazing.
And as I said, if you wanted, you could thicken it up with some breadcrumbs or gluten-free. So when it comes to portioning, yet again, it's something that I've found over the years of catering, especially catering in schools. Lots of school caterers love to put loads on the plate.
Oh, really?
And portioning sizes have grown and grown. And of course, we've got some left over. Would you like to have seconds?
Yeah.
And it's lovely to think that kids want to eat more, but we've got to be aware of how we're feeding our kids in the portion size. So one of the things that we use, old-fashioned potato scoop.
Yeah.
So if you scoop it up, you've got roughly 100 grams.
I was going to say that's 100 grams, isn't it?
of when you're working on school budgets. I don't know if you're aware.
Go on, what's the budget per child?
Well, in some schools, you could be lucky and get 85 pence
A day? Meal?
per meal, but that's 2 courses.
Oh, right.
And I'm privileged in my school. I've got £1.20. So for me, I wanted to source good local produce and use good British produce. So finding local farmers, local producers that I could do that with. And one of the things that I've found, well, a local farmer, he was doing all organic meats, which was fantastic. But then when you turn around and say, I'd like to put organic meat into a school, it's, are you insane? But I went and spoke to him, told him what I wanted to do, and he put meat in that I could afford.
Okay.
So I just changed my menus around. So rather than having meat 5 days a week and not being able to afford quality meats,
That's brilliant.
we started off with meat-free Monday.
Yeah.
So everything on the menu on a Monday was
Veggie.
vegetarian or vegan, which is easy to do.
Yeah, and cheaper, so you can bring your cost down on a Monday. And
Of
then,
course.
Yeah.
So then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we thought that's where we can put meat, but we can look at different cuts of meat.
Yeah.
So your much cheaper cuts that take long and slow cooking. So having, like braising meats and stews and things like that, and being able to cook it overnight makes a big difference. And then Friday, fish. So fish were a vegetarian or a vegan choice.
Yeah.
And then it was pizza day.
Yeah.
So that cuts another.
Friday.
It cut another day out of meat. So we've actually only got either 2 to 3 days where we're using meat, but we can afford to buy quality meats because 82% of our menu is vegetarian or vegan based.
So do you find at your school that the kids have sort of a better attention span for learning, and they're a lot more sort of switched on based on the good nutrition that they're getting at lunchtime?
Well, you'd certainly hope so. The fact that you're using fresh ingredients, you're making everything from scratch, so there's no additives going into the food. And over the years, I've noticed that you will get students eating better choices and making better choices. So that's going to have an impact on their learning and their attention span, because we know from data and research that has been done, there's an awful lot of students, especially at this present moment, coming to school that haven't had breakfast, may not have had a meal the evening before, so the only meal they're receiving is the school meal. So it's vitally important that they get those nutrients in the school meal, hence cooking fresh.
Amazing. Doing such a great job.
And we've knocked up a little sauce to go with these broccoli and cheese patty.
What have you got in there?
So in there is the vegan yogurt, cannellini beans, white beans,
Amazing.
some garlic, a little bit of seasoning, all blended together, and that's it. And yet again, nutrients in the beans, in the pulses, protein.
Substance, fibre.
So it's all going. So that will complement our patties that are ready to go in the oven.
Brilliant. Oh, I'll pop them in for you.
Super.
They look great. And how many of these would one child have ordinarily?
Well, yet again, if you're working on portion sizes, we portion those out at roughly between 90 and 110 grams.
Yeah.
So we'd serve that with 2 veg,
Oh, wow.
some salad, or some new potatoes.
Yeah.
So always offering extra veg, extra salads, and potatoes as a starch element, even though you've got starch in that.
Wow, they look amazing. Fussiest child would love that. It's gorgeous.
So it's still quite light,
Yeah,
but
but packed full
nutrition.
of flavour as well. So is there sort of is the guidelines at school in terms of nutrition, and you know, what do you as a chef have to follow?
Well, yet again, I'm quite passionate about what we try to achieve within our own school. And in 2015, there was the school food standards that were issued for all schools across the UK. And they were set up basically to give caterers outlook on what, not what to cook, but what items you should be cooking. So you would only have 2 deep fried products per week on your menu. You'd increase fruits, vegetables. You would offer bread, free drinking water. And all these standards were put in place for all school caterers to follow. Unfortunately, most schools didn't hear of them for quite a number of years. So, and academies and free schools had the option to not do it, depending on when they became academies. So there was a lot of information there that you could have followed if it had been monitored better. Lots of people said Ofsted should be monitoring things like that.
Yeah,
well,
school governors as well.
Well, Ofsted are an educational group that monitor education and courses and the development of training and things like that. They're not professional caterers. So really we should be looking at someone that understands food, understands health and having good quality food on the hot plate. And you know, this is something that we need to address because it certainly isn't happening. And there's lots of reasons why we need to be addressing issues like this within our schools.
Yeah, it's so important. But you're doing a great job, and I would be delighted if my child was at your school.
Thanks very much.